Okay, what you're about to see warrants a preface. They can't all be winners, alright? So I'm sorry in advance. It doesn't make any sense, except for the fact that I actually did mail a letter to the Prime Minister of Canada. Maybe he'll mail me back. Anyway, hope you enjoy it. It's a fucking vlog. Dear Prime Minister and Canadian heartthrob Justin Trudeau, I know things have been stressful for you lately, what with the upcoming elections, in which I truly wish you the best, but I wanted to write and see if you couldn't carve out a small amount of time to pull a few strings and do me a favor and grant me Canadian citizenship. You see, I'm a big fan of your country, and you, and things aren't so great at this side of the border, what with it being the United States and everything. Now I know you might need some convincing, so I made a video for you, so buckle up the right honorable Mr. Prime Minister, and let my love of the great North wash over you. We're going to begin with bagged milk. I don't know why I love it, but I do. That and Shreddies. Together, perfection. But as you may not know, Post doesn't sell Shreddies south of the border. Just imagine, Mr. Trudeau, it's a Saturday night, you and I watching reruns of Family Ties sharing a bag of Shreddies. Now that brings us to your labeling. I've always wanted to learn the Romance language of French, and my time in Canada has taught me some of your second official language, like trois fromage, sans nom, mélange de chocolat chaud, and thé noir de qualité supérieure. So in case it crossed your mind, culture shock isn't going to be an issue for me. Now, if you're worried this request is an attempt at free healthcare, fear not. I figured this may be a concern, but I've taken it upon myself to start exercising, so don't be too seduced. This is just to ensure that I won't be a burden to the taxpayer. And yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day, but I know that $253 billion, 11% of your GDP, or $6,839 per capita is being spent on healthcare, and I would hate to increase that. However, even if I do hit that, it'll only be 0.000000027% of your GDP, which really doesn't seem like a lot to me. Now, as a pragmatist, I know that in granting citizenship, you want to ensure that you are only accepting the cream of the crop, la crème de la crème, which if you notice is French. And that's why I wanted to show you my expertise with handling economies and resource management. Yes, of course I'm speaking in reference to Klaus Teuber's Settlers of Catan. Did my oldest brother beat me? Well, I don't want to talk about that. Apparently, just because rolls are statistically likely, they won't happen if you're relying on sheep to win the game. So, did we excommunicate him from the family for winning? No comment. But that's not the point of this video, even though his name is Gordon, which may or may not stem from Canadian singer-songwriter and folk legend Gordon Lightfoot.
And then to quote Agatha Christie, there were four.
Okay, Kate, I'm considering it, but what exactly will you do to support your fellow Canadians? Well, Prime Minister, I'm glad you asked. You see, I'll be sure to ride my luxury speedboat, to which you're always invited, to the nearest town and support the local businesses, which for me will mean the township of Bala in the municipality of the Muskoka Lakes, settled in 1868 by Thomas Burgess. Now, how will you support the local businesses? That's an easy answer. What you may be unaware of is that, like Shreddies and bagged milk, butter tarts have yet to migrate south of the border. Why exactly, I do not know. Perhaps it's because in the United States we resist having good things, or maybe it's because we're afraid of change. But all that means is more expenditure at your bakeries. And, in addition to butter tarts, my family also makes sure to make their contribution through the LCBO, Liquor Control Board of Ontario. Anyways, if the LCBO isn't enough, my family also makes sure to stop at the beer store. Now, Justin, if you enjoy the taste of beer, I won't hold it against you, but for me personally, I think it tastes like garbage water. So, the fact this appears to be the most difficult decision my family has to make is a point of dissonance. That being said, if you want to grab a drink sometime, I won't say no. But I'll probably not order a beer. Maybe a gin and tonic or a glass of wine. But I digress. After a successful haul of provisions, we'll head back on our vessel, leaving cool guy Gordon smirking after that game of Catan. But guess what? I'm the driver of the boat, okay? So he'll just have to answer to me, captain's orders. Yes, that does mean I'm a licensed pleasure craft operator in Canada. So you don't have to worry about that either, Mr. Prime Minister. Not to brag. Now, did I take the test online? Perhaps. Did I look up the answers? No comment. But believe you me, I know how to take care of my boat. And, as a signatory of the Paris Agreement, I understand that you want to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 30% below 2005 levels by 2030, and I support that, unlike whatever insanity seems to be having in our country. You would think that saving the world is something we could all get behind, but I guess that's too much to ask in the current political climate. Get it? Climate! Ha! Furthermore, let's say for example Alberta runs out of gas and oil and we enter some dystopian, apocalyptic, Mad Max-esque future. Well, fear not, as I'm more than capable of captaining man-powered vessels, whether that be boarding a canoe, paddling a canoe, or, well, those are really the two things you can do on a canoe. And Justin, am I able to call you Justin? Obviously you're probably thinking, God, this guy seems to really know how to do everything. And to that I'd have to say yes, but don't be intimidated. You're free to join me on a canoe ride anytime you want. We could picnic, bring some wine and cheese, portage to the next leg over. Yes, I just said portage, which, and I don't want to brag, is another French word. So if we're ever in a canoe together, you won't have to worry about, or should I say a boot, a thing. I can handle all sorts of nautical mishaps, like pirates, sea monsters, swells, waves. Are swells waves? That's beside the point. The point is, I know my ports and my starboards, my bows and my sterns. Now, does crouching in a canoe destroy my knees and feet? Yes. Does it stop the circulation and leave depression in my skin that don't go away for over 5 minutes? Definitely. But hey, if canoeing's what you're into, then canoeing's what you're gonna get, Mr. Prime Minister. And maybe I haven't painted the most flattering picture of my family. Perhaps we appear as nautical ruffians who spend most of their time on the high seas drinking, and while that may not be entirely untrue, we spend some of our time ashore drinking, while we're doing very Canadian and family things like shucking some pure and organic Ontario corn.
And they just sell them.
In case you give me your fastest corn shuck.
Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
Time me. Go. This is a tough one. You can tell it's not right. I'm gonna try another one. I don't like your facial commentary, Kate. This is right.
Oh my god, that was really fast.
So, Mr. Prime Minister, there you have it. I may not be Canadian legally, but I'm Canadian at heart. And with every spoonful of shreddies, butter tart, bag of milk, or a cup of Tim Hortons, I feel at home and at ease. So, as your capital gains and property taxes may take away the family cottage that has been our family for generations, I implore you to consider sending my name along to whoever gives the stamp of approval and let me be a member of the country I love. For, when my family dies together, it's with a heavy heart that I realize I'm not a legally recognized subject of the Commonwealth. Sure, I was born in the United States, but I was raised in the Great North, Mr. Trudeau. So, I guess what I'm saying is, my name's Kate Allen Taylor, and I want to be your citizen.